Hello, angels, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome to Angel Baby Speaking, and I am so happy that you're joining me today. I'm so proud of you for showing up. You're here, you're choosing growth, and that's such a powerful thing. So get cozy and let's dive in how to manifest without looking back. So, after talking with clients this week, I noticed the continuous theme of being pulled back into old habits and struggling with the concept of our power when it comes to manifestation. So we often get so focused on what we've been through, what we've lost, or even who we used to be that we genuinely forget to stay present and align with the life that we're currently creating. So, I want you to remember something really important, which is creation already exists within consciousness. So that means every dream, every desire you've ever had already has a place in this incredible field of potential that we're all connected to. So it's already done. And when you keep that in mind, it becomes easier to really understand that your current reality is simply just a reflection of your past thoughts and beliefs. So everything that you're experiencing right now, your job, your relationships, even your challenges, was once just an idea. It was just a thought. And sometimes those thoughts were very much so rooted in fear, doubt, or limitations that we picked up without even realizing it. But today, you are shifting the focus. So instead of dwelling on what's not working, you're coming back to the present moment and truly using your imagination to consciously create the future you do want. So, once you realize that every problem you faced has actually served you, because in some way it has clarified your desires for you and it's made you even more precise on what it is exactly that you want. So, it really begins to get a lot easier to stop resisting it. You can actually say thank you because it showed you more of who you are. So, if you're feeling stuck, I want you to gently bring one challenge to your mind right now. Don't resist it and just simply notice it. So, I want you to ask yourself, what did this situation help me see more clearly? What do I know I want now because of this? And then, if you want to dig a little bit deeper, what is the story I've been telling around this? And more importantly, who has been telling it? So this is where you can come to terms of, is this your mom? Is this your dad? Is this your caretaker? Is this a teenage version of you that just wanted to feel accepted? Is this the voice of a teacher who made you feel like your work didn't matter? Or is this a version of you who picked a relationship over your own dreams and you're now holding on to shame and guilt? Just really be honest and identify whose voice you're actually listening to, whether that voice is even yours. Because even if it's not, you can put it down because you are not the version of you who had to people please in order to survive. You're not the version of you who didn't know better and is now settling. And you're not the scared inner child that's trying to figure out why love just had to hurt. You are you right here, right now. And your new identity gets to choose a new story. It gets to rewrite the narrative and create a completely new outcome, not from fear, but from power. So when you start choosing to stop looking back, you're not just ignoring the past, you're simply releasing it with so much love and with so much grace and with just the deep knowing that your future is already yours. So it is safe to move forward, it is safe to change, and it's safe to let go of whoever you had to be so that you can finally just become who you're here to be. Now, the reason why I find it so important and why I think you should really want to identify that voice and the habits of that person to separate it from your new identity is because, as we know, the present moment is always, always, always going to be where your true power lies. So it's not in the past, it's not in the future, it's right now. This is where all of your manifestations are going to exist and where all of the potentials of the universe is just waiting for you to tap into it. So the thing is, so many of us are still living in the past, whether we're thinking about all of these past failures or missed opportunities, maybe all of the people that have hurt us, or even the things that went wrong. And every single time that we're simply ruminating on these thoughts or getting lost in the 3D and not really taking control over our moods or our thoughts that are happening, you're going to magnetize more of that past into your present reality. So you bring in that old identity with you as like a safety net in every situation, especially when it becomes really something that is familiar to you. The mind is always going to get addicted to certain emotional states. And I really want to help break that down for you because your mind and body are literally creating neural pathways around these emotions that you're feeling over and over again. So if you are constantly experiencing emotions like fear, anger, sadness, maybe guilt, you were always maybe in a high stress or a flight or fight, stressor within your body, your brain starts to crave those feelings. They become something so familiar, and then they eventually become a part of your identity, and your body gets very used to them. So, this is why you can find it difficult when you're trying to let go of those emotions or shift into something new, whether it's something as simple as just being consistent in new routines or getting excited about something or just feeling happier overall. Your mind and body go into such a state of resistance. Sometimes you can feel your body literally resisting it, or it can come through in an overwhelm of thoughts. It feels really, really intense, and sometimes it just feels like it's impossible to overcome. It genuinely can feel like you're doing something wrong or that your body is literally fighting against you. But it's really just your brain fighting against the unfamiliar. So it's like a child throwing a tantrum because it's just not getting its way. And that's what I mean when you hear me say that your old self tends to make a dramatic exit. So the good news is, though, your brain can rewire itself, and this is what we call neuroplasticity. And it's the foundation of how manifestation really works. Because by choosing these new emotional states and thinking new thoughts, you're literally creating new neural pathways within your brain. So your past doesn't have to dictate your future, and that's why your circumstances aren't going to matter. But you have to make that choice to step into your new identity and embrace it by finding what works best for you specifically as you're going through this process, because manifestation is always going to be very subjective. You're always going to have your own specific set of beliefs and experiences that have created your current perception. So even if we did have the same core foundational beliefs, the way that I navigate them or experience reality can still be different than yours because it's going to be very personal. So that's what makes this process honestly so exciting, because your story is going to be so specific to you and who you are. So when you are trying to move on from something, whether it's a thought pattern, an emotional habit, or a limiting belief, your mind genuinely goes into a withdrawal state. So it's like a craving for something familiar, even if it's not serving you anymore. And that's why it can feel so hard to let go of all of these different things, because your mind has now developed a strong attachment to those emotional states. So when you try to release them, your brain is seemingly fighting you. But if you have struggled and you've noticed this, whenever you're just trying to persist over these things coming up, you're surpassing your emotions and you're bypassing the things that are really triggering you by maybe trying to take actions without actually coming from the identity that you want to, or you're trying to rush things or come from a place of force or flow, it's going to be a process for you to really get your mind to adapt these new beliefs. So you just want to make sure that you're honest with where you are and what you still need to let go of, so that you're not dealing with such intense backlash from your body and you're not getting stuck in these same cycles. Just really recognizing that this is temporary resistance. And when you're persistent, you really start to see these new patterns forming, which are these patterns of consistency and acceptance. You're going to feel peace, you're going to feel regulated. And really, you start making these different choices and taking the inspired actions by completely showing up differently. Then you notice your manifestations start coming through on a level that's actually sustainable. So, this approach really allows you to see this as a life skill to develop rather than something just magical falling into your lap. This is showing you the power that you truly hold, and that no matter what, you can't mess this up. This is why I really love the law of assumption, and I feel it helps tie everything together because it is a very powerful law in manifestation. It's really about truly knowing every single thing that you experience is merely an assumption. Because when you shift your assumptions about yourself and your life, you are literally shifting your brain's neural wiring. So you're choosing these new emotional states that align with your desires. And yes, as I said, it can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you have spent years in a state of lack, anxiety, or sadness. Your brain will fight you when you start assuming something different. It's like trying to teach your brain a new language, but I promise you it's so worth it because you feel that resistance and you don't give up. You're going to acknowledge it, you're going to embrace it, and you're going to choose to move forward anyway. It's literally just your brain adjusting to your new reality. So I like to think of it in the same sense as when you're going to the gym, you're getting in your reps and doing your squats, you start to feel the burn. You sometimes don't want to keep going. But when you develop that mentality and you know that it's uncomfortable, you're not expecting to not see results. You're not expecting to go through all of this uncomfortability just to look the exact way that you did whenever you first started. You understand that a change is happening, even if you can't see it, and you trust that it's happening. So it's the same way when you're doing this internal work with yourself, you're trusting that this shift is going to happen. And as your brain is adjusting, the same way that your body is, eventually it does get easier. You do feel the shift and your reality will start to catch up with you. You just want to make sure that you are practicing it in a way that feels good to you, the same way that you would do this with other habits. So, for example, if you don't feel like you're a gym girly, you don't want to go lift, but maybe you're someone that likes to take long nature walks or you like to go to Pilates and do yoga, that is okay. You're still getting the movement in and you're moving your body and creating healthy habits in a way that feels good for you and is personalized to you and your own set of goals. So for me, I really was able to finally see the shift. Once I had tried all the robotic affirming and everything else, I really fell in love with EFT tapping. It's really especially helpful for releasing those old emotional patterns that are hard to let go of and not something that you feel like you can just repeatedly affirm over. Because when your brain is holding on to a habit, tapping really helps you rewire those neural pathways on a mind and body level so that you can actually release the resistance that you're having even more efficiently. So I do have a playlist of an EFT tapping series that I'm creating for manifesting and different things. And this can honestly just help you transform your reality into something you can sustain. So I personally saw so many results with this. And the amazing thing is, as you let go of these old emotional states, as you shift your mind, you really notice that your reality has no choice but to catch up. So you can't hold on to an old story and keep expecting a new reality. You can't keep clinging to these old patterns and expect to manifest something new. But when you fully let go and when you stop looking back, everything starts to fall into place. Whenever you're feeling resistance or you find yourself looking back to what you were or what you had, I want you to remember your brain is simply just adjusting. You are creating these new emotional habits within your body and new thought patterns that can now allow you to fully step into your new identity. And that identity is always, always, always going to reflect back to you out here because that's the law. So the other day too, I was talking to my girlies and this story really clicked for me. And it's from Genesis 19 and it's about Lot's wife. So if you aren't familiar with the story, Lot and his family lived in a city called Sodom, which was known for its wickedness. And God decided to destroy the city, but he gave Lot and his family a chance to escape. So the only rule that he gave was don't look back. As they were fleeing out of the city, Lot's wife just simply couldn't resist. So she turns around to look at the city, and in that moment, she was turned into a pillar of salt. So at first, this story seemed so harsh to me. I was like, she looked back and that's it, like no second chance, no nothing. But after realizing what the story was actually about, I understood it wasn't just about the physical act of looking back or making a simple mistake. It was about the longing that she held in her heart. She was still very emotionally attached to a place of all of this pain and toxicity and everything that was being destroyed. She wasn't just curious about it, she was actually emotionally tied to what was no longer serving her. And that is exactly what happens in our own manifestation journeys and what I've noticed the patterns that we tend to get stuck in. Because when we get stuck in this deep longing for the past, maybe it's the way that things went in a certain relationship or someone else getting that job you really wanted or just simply an older version of ourselves that we can't seem to let go of. When we keep holding on to these stories, we are holding on to an energy that is no longer in alignment with who we're becoming, and we're now addicted to being this version of ourselves. So I want you to think about your own life right now. What is it that you are still holding on to? Is it an old belief about yourself? Is it a relationship that just simply didn't work out? Maybe a job didn't pan out? Whatever it is, it's really time to let that go, because the law of assumption tells us that what we assume to be true is always going to become our reality. So if you keep holding on to the past, if you're still aware of these addictions that you're allowing to keep being something that has control over you, you're still subconsciously assuming that this is who you are and this is what you're capable of. But you have to keep remembering that it's simply not your truth. So I want you to make a choice right now. You can release the past. You can decide that it's done, that you've learned from it, grown from it, and now you're really ready for something new. So you are no longer that person who got hurt by that ex. You're not that person who didn't get that job. You're not that person still struggling with her body image. You are the person who is becoming, because you are already living your dream life, and it really starts with assuming it's already done. So, with all of this information, I really wanted to just break down how simple and easy it is for you to be able to see that these are just patterns within yourself, and that you have to give yourself grace as you go along this journey, because everyone's story is going to be very unique and very, very specific to them. So, what I want to do is I want to leave you guys with some journal prompts to really help shift your focus from what's not working to what is. So, the first prompt that I have for you is: what roles do you find yourself playing most often in relationships? Do they feel authentic or more like a performance? When do you feel most like you? What's the version of you like, and how do they show up? What's a story you've been telling yourself that keeps you stuck? Where do you think that story came from? And are you willing to finally stop telling it? What is your fear around fully accepting every part of yourself? What is the worst that could happen if you did? If nothing could be taken from you, how would you show up differently in your relationships, work, and daily life? Now, I want you to take your time with these and really allow yourself to just fully experience a mind shift so you can see how simple it really can be. So, when you stop looking back and you start creating from a place of power, you start walking in alignment with your higher self, and that's when everything starts falling into place. So, learn from the story of Lot's wife. Longing for a past that isn't even meant for you anymore won't allow you to get anywhere. You're meant to move forward, to create, to shine, and to step into the life that you've been manifesting. So remember, you're worthy of every single thing you desire, and you can manifest it by just embracing the present moment, assuming it's already done, and fully releasing the past. So every step you take from here on out is only going to bring you closer to your dream life. So you are an angel, and the world is waiting for you to show up just as you are. Don't shrink, don't hide, just step into your power, really trust the process, and let's manifest in that magic. So if you found value in this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'd love to hear how this message resonates with you. And as always, remember, you are the sole creator of your reality, and the best is yet to come. So stay radiant. Can't even talk. The best is yet to come. Sorry, I just yapped for like 18 minutes to you guys, but I know you're going to stay radiant, stay beautiful, and you're never going to look back. So until next time, my angels.